Hey y'all, for this one we're covering Minazuki, a fantastic beginner character in Persona Arena. His combos are easy to execute, game plan is straightforward, and he can seem unstoppable against other beginner players. Major thanks to Vincent, one of the best online, who created an amazing resource which you can check out here that goes into full depth on the character. In this guide, we'll be covering just the basics. Quick note, if you love these guides, I just created a Patreon where you can support, and I'm streaming again on Twitch, so give that a follow if you'd like. Minazuki is very well-rounded. He has a great neutral game. He can control ground and neutral with his basic attacks and control space pretty much all over the screen with his persona attacks. He has very long block strings with great frame data that gives you tons of options, from stagger pressure to frame traps to even backing off to bait counterattacks or safely reset pressure. Speaking of combos, Minazuki gets pretty decent damage in mid-screen combos even without resources, but even as little as 25 SP enables great extensions with hard knockdowns, allowing you to maintain pressure. But of course, the trade-off to having such advantageous frame data is that the startup animations for his basic attacks are a tad bit slower than other characters. So this makes it kind of hard to use his basic attacks to mash out of pressure defensively. Thankfully, he has a pretty good DP to compensate. Minazuki doesn't have crazy mix-ups, so you have to master what's known as strike-throw gameplay, in which you condition the opponent to block to respect your pressure and throw in your command grabs to have them guessing. Also, depending on how accustomed you get to certain styles of gameplay, you could hit a pretty hard wall with this character. Better players won't fall for a random full-screen teleport or side switch all-out attack, and they will punish you severely. So, a lot of the, let's say, scrubbier tricks of this character won't actually take you very far. But don't let that deter you, because this guide is here to set you on the right path. So let's get started with a brief overview of the move list. For greater insight on specifics like frame data, check out dustloop.com. Your basic A attacks have great utility due to the above average range on them. They're technically slower than the standard light attacks, as I mentioned earlier, but you won't really feel it while you're on offense. You can hold back while pressing A to change standing A basic attack into itself up to 2 more times. Your B attacks are advancing moves that hit twice. They have good range, but are mainly for combos and block strings, since your 5A has amazing range on its own. 5B can definitely close a further distance, but whiffing this will cost you because the full animation will play. 2B is a fantastic anti-air, but the same rule applies. Do not whiff it, because you will be punished. Both jumping A and jumping B are great. Jumping A is very good for air-to-air hits, but jumping B is too. Like the grounded B attacks, jumping B also hits twice. 5C can be cool and neutral once you get used to its spacing and when it's necessary to throw out. It has a pretty generous hitbox, which is very nice, but it has lots of recovery, so you'll want to commit to it if you do throw it out. 2C is a bit slower, but it's jump cancelable and can lead into some pretty damaging combos if you're able to scope out a hit with it, even if you knock them out of the air. The D persona attacks are pretty cool. They combo into teleport by launching the opponent up high on hit. They're slower than the C attacks, but they hit all different ranges around the screen. The neutral D attacks on ground and in air can be held to send your persona a bit further before it strikes. Again, you'll use this mainly in combos, but they can definitely help to manipulate screen real estate at mid to long ranges. Minazuki's sweep hits twice with a gap in the middle against blocking opponents. Minazuki's furious action is your standard Shoryuken type on the ground, but in the air it gives you a downward slash that leads into a decent knockdown. The air version of the DP can actually be comboed from the grounded version, provided that you land a hit. Minazuki's quarter circle forward AB is a cute little slow moving projectile that you can use for pressure and to tag sloppy opponents. A and B move at different speeds with different heights. The SB version throws out both the A and B version of the shurikens, so it can be pretty cool to approach it that way. The command grab, quarter circle back CD, is the linchpin of your offensive pressure. The existence of this provides you with a strike throw mix-up, so once the opponent is content blocking your basic attacks, you can hit them with this to have them lost on defense. The A version steals SP, while the B version steals a bit of health. Quarter circle forward CD, Tsukiyomi, is a teleport, but it is highly reactable, so please do not get into the habit of throwing this out raw. It's okay to do it every now and then, but the first time you get a 60% damage combo off the fatal counter, you'll learn your lesson. Hopefully. The C version teleports in front while the D version teleports behind. You'll mostly be using these in combos. The enhanced version does a feint, which can be useful in some instances, and it can be pretty good to get in on a zoning opponent when you feel you don't have many options. Quarter circle back AB is pretty unique in how it's performed. These Fang attacks start off with the first command, and then you just have to hold backwards and A or B to execute the next parts. This is commonly referred to in fighting games as a Rekka, and all that means is that after the initial attack either hits or is blocked, you can chain into the next part of the special by repeating the command. In this move's case, the A and B versions all have different properties for each chain in the sequence. The A moves are either quicker or do less hits. The usages are pretty much interchangeable, so I recommend just using the B version to start out in combos so that you don't get too confused right off the bat. Very important to note that the SB versions of these attacks are very cool. Any chain in the records can be enhanced individually at the cost of 25 meter, and they all have their specific uses. For this guide, we're going to focus on the enhanced version of the third hit, which has plus frames allowing you to keep your turn against blocking opponents. Double quarter circle forward is a full screen super with invulnerability frames that allows it to be used as a reversal. The D version is almost instantaneous, while the C version has a bit of startup, which can be great in certain reversal situations. Moon Smasher does not have invulnerability frames, and you'll mostly be using this as a combo ender because it does a lot of damage and can also combo into itself if you have a lot of meter to dump. Dream Fog is a counter super. Okay, the C version is a counter and needs the opponent to hit you to trigger the blackout effect, whereas the D version is kind of a strike super that works as a reversal with invulnerability frames and can actually be comboed into in some circumstances and still work. Combo time. Minazuki's combos are very easy to pick up, and confirming hits into a full combo is super simple since his attacks have multiple hits, giving you pretty much twice as much time to recognize a combo opportunity. To start off, you can confirm pretty much anything into 5C and then the bang slashes, ending with the B version for the third chain. This gives you a solid knockdown from anywhere on the screen that can be followed up with grounded pressure. Note that you can only link 2B after 5B in combos if you're close enough to the opponent, otherwise you will whiff and the combo will drop. In the corner, you can get cute and slide the 5C in between your B attacks and even add in a sweep for a tiny bit more damage. This isn't necessary to do, but it's very good training for your game sense. You want to make sure that you're able to recognize when you have a corner combo opportunity so it becomes second nature to diverge your combo routes in specific situations. That ability will really pay off once you learn the more advanced combos, especially in the corner where you can get a lot more damage without spending meter. Whenever you get the opportunity to anti-air with 2B, you want to cancel the first hit immediately into 5C. This anti-air combo leads into a teleport ender, which showcases the safe jump that you get from most combos that end with Tsukiyomi. I'm fairly sure that this hard knockdown applies to every practical combo that you pull off in a match ending with a teleport, even the longer ones, but someone can fact check me on that in the comments. This right here is a combo, if you can even call it that. It gives you a quick 1500 damage and safe jump off of any D persona attack from wherever on the screen. You'll only be hitting this off of a hard call out on the opponent trying to press buttons from distance, so use it intelligently. See, like I said, Minazuki's basic combos are super easy. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Here's a combo that will actually take some practice to get the timing down for. So what we're going to do to learn how to perform it is go straight into your Fang slashes, and then for the third hit, use the enhanced version. This gives a very small window for you to extend the combo with a 2A before the knockdown. The timing is kind of weird. My best advice is that if you wait to press the 2A until you visually see Minazuki land, then you're too late. You want to hit it just a bit before. You just got to keep practicing it till you get the feel down, and then you can move on to the actual combo. You can incorporate this into full combos whenever you get a hit confirm. The beauty of this extension is that we convert just 25 meter into a bunch of extra damage and the safe jump setup off of the Tsukiyomi ender. Very important for me to note here that if you have too many lights to begin the combo, it will scale way too much, resulting in the last part dropping before the teleport. So whenever you have more than one light in your combo to be safe, you probably just want to do a regular combo ending with the Fang Slashes. Now with 50 SP, you can pull this combo off from pretty much anywhere on the screen except the deep corner. What you're going to do is combo the B Flash Fang directly into your DP and allow the DP to hit twice. And as soon as it does, you want to combo in the Wings of Purgatory super. Then you have to wait just a little bit as the opponent is falling, and you can catch them with a 2C, then a 2D, and then Tsukiyomi teleport. Sometimes, depending on how far you push the opponent towards the corner, you have to use a standing D instead of 2D, otherwise the combo would drop. And if you are all the way in the deep corner, then you'll need to wait a little more for the opponent to fall since you're turned around, and hit them with a 2B, 5C, 5D teleport, and you'll be good. For counter hit combos, we're going to keep it simple. Anytime you recognize that you have a counter hit situation in advance, you want to start the combo with a 5C into 2C, 2B, 5B, and whatever ender you want. Whether you want to spend meter or not, that's up to you. Before we leave the combo section, I just want to point out that you can combo off of teleports, but I didn't really want to advertise that because I want to make sure that you do not fall into the habit of just teleporting to start your offense. It is not good, and you will fail if you rely on that game plan. But just know that it's possible. Now, there are certainly ways to dump out your meter by stringing together a bunch of supers, but for now, focus on the combos I gave you, as most of them lead to a hard knockdown, even when using meter, which is better in most situations than doing a ton of damage, but letting your opponent reset back to neutral, where it can be hard to land that next hit on them so that you can secure the win. Alright, as I said, our game plan is very simple, and starting out, you can get away with playing this character very flowcharty while you still get a handle on the basics. Block strings are pretty straightforward. By just pressing 4A and using your B attacks, you can have the opponent respect the fact that they shouldn't be pressing buttons or they're going to eat 3000 damage. Starting out with Minazuki, you can totally go brain dead and just commit to your basic combo as a block string pretty much every time. So a cool trick that you can do is delay your light attacks ever so slightly so that they're not true strings. So if your opponent's mashing buttons, they'll get hit. This is called stagger pressure if you didn't know, and it's the best way to deal with anxious opponents that love to hit buttons. Watch out because the opponent can DP, which will stuff your attacks, but if you're watching for it, you can just stop your block string entirely when you suspect that they may be trying to mash out a DP, block it, and then get a counter hit punish combo for a whole heap of damage. Another fantastic pressure tool is to spend 25 meter on the third hit of your Fang Slashes against blocking opponents. This leaves you with plus frames so that you can continue your assault, assuming they don't just get hit because they weren't blocking overhead, in which case you can easily confirm into full combo since you were going to keep attacking regardless of hit or block. And once you have them conditioned to sit there and take your pressure instead of mashing buttons or DPing out, that's when the fun starts, with the piece that ties it all together, the command throw. You've got the opponent terrified to do anything but block until you're done with your block strings, so you can slide in your untechable command grab after light attacks, just poke them, walk up, and command grab. At this point, you'll have your opponents completely thrown off and giving you free openings to take them out. So work on these fundamentals and you'll be ready to tackle the more advanced aspects of this character in no time. Thank you for checking out the video, and see you next time.